Welcome to Mono Man Fishing.
Welcome back to Mono Man Fishing. And if you're new, welcome aboard. Got a pretty good one for you today because a Mono Man fan sent me an email and asked me a really good question. I hadn't even thought of it, but it's a good question. Does boat speed matter? I'm pretty sure he meant in a tournament. Does boat speed matter? That's a good question. And the answer to that, in my opinion, is yes and no. Let me explain. Yes, it would matter if you were very familiar with the lake or had pre-fished and you had a spot or knew of a spot that produced early in the morning. Maybe it was a well-known spot in the bass fishing world. We call them community holes, and you needed to get there quickly and safely and get that spot secured. Yeah, that would matter for your speed. There, in that situation, boat speed would matter. And you'd also, if you had like 3 spots and they're pretty far apart, well, you got to your first one, you fished it, you're going to get to your second one, then, and it's, several miles, then boat speed would matter for you to get to your second spot and third spot quickly. Maybe you want to come back to the first spot later the afternoon. Yeah, that would matter for boat speed, being able to get to those spots and those long, far away spots and stuff. But I want to talk about something here real quick. It's the 100-foot rule. All us bass anglers, tournament anglers know what that is. And that, for those who don't, that are looking to fish tournaments, it's very simple. A lot of clubs, organizations have a rule in their rules that you cannot come within 100 feet of another angler who's fishing and fish, around them. In other words, you have to stay 100 feet or more away from other anglers. Now, this rule only applies to those members of that tournament. So if you got 20 guys fishing in your boat, in your club, those 20 guys, including yourself, have to follow that rule. However, there's no such rule for the civilian population, or the people that aren't fishing it. This comes right out of the Georgia DNR rules and regulation. Let me read this. Yeah, I printed it up because I just make sure verbatim I got this right. It says, one of the most important rules of the road, and that's in quotes, and they're talking about the water, is the 100-foot law, which includes all boats, not just personal watercraft such as jet skis and sea-doos, and requires boat operators to slow to idle speed when they are within 100 feet of docks, piers, bridges, shorelines, or people in the water. The 100-foot law states, quote, no person shall operate any vessel or tow a person or persons on water skis, an aquaplane, a surfboard, or any similar device on the waters of this state, Georgia, at a speed greater than idle speed within 100 feet of any vessel which is moored, anchored, or adrift outside normal traffic channels, or any wharf, dock, pier, piling, bridge, structure, or abutment, or any person in the water, or shoreline adjacent to a full-time or part-time residence, public parks, public beach, public swimming areas, marinas, restaurants, or other public use areas. Well, that's a mouthful, but I want to go back and reiterate this little statement here. Where the heck was it? Yes. Outside normal traffic channels. If you're a boater, you should know that there's channel markers on lakes and rivers, and that is what we call the river channel. In between those, you'll see all the boats zipping there. It's for your safety and the safety of other people. If you're in the middle of that channel fishing, that's on you. But outside that channel, you cannot come within 100 feet of just about obviously anything without slowing to idle speed. Now, Georgia passed a law recently, I don't know exact date, but it was like within the last year, if not later. But they passed a law that says if you every bridge that you come to in Georgia, whether it's marked or not, you have to slow to idle speed, and that's what they mean right here. This is the law. Within 100 feet coming to it, you have to stop down to idle speed, go under it 100 feet, and then you can take off again. I've actually just a couple weeks ago saw not just bass boats, but all kinds of boats just zipping underneath these bridges at Watts Bar. I don't think the law enforcement or the popo or wherever they are, I like to call them water popo, actually was enforcing it because they weren't out there. I didn't see any law enforcement on the water. It was a busy weekend too. It's a Saturday. Yeah. So guys, keep that up because I'm sure they're going to start writing it up. So keep your eye out for that. So now I want to talk about the Georgia. It's called the TBF. It's their Federation, Nation, whatever. Their rule, and I got it highlighted here, is 50 feet. But again, that only applies to however many people are in this tournament. It has nothing to do with the civilian population. I fish in electric division. I fish in the gas division. I call it the big boy division. And with many people, several friends and acquaintances that I take out in the boat. And several of them get very upset when somebody comes along within less than 50 feet of the boat. Let's say it's just a guy and his dog and they're out on a Saturday fishing. And they say to me, hey, I can't believe that guy is that close to us. This, the tournament rules do not apply to that guy. This, the word law in it, applies to that guy. If he's not on any kind of plane, I mean, if he's idle speed or less, trolling motor, paddling, whatever, on a paddle board, besides those people that don't fish, especially bass fish, don't have a clue about our rules. So just make sure that's clear to everyone. If you're told there's a 50, 100-foot rule, now you know what that applies to your group that's fishing that day. But if you're out on the lake enjoying yourself and you come within 100 feet of a dock, piling, all those things, and you come to a bridge, that's these rules, that's the law. Big difference there. All right, now back to boat speed. The other answer, no, it doesn't matter. My boat, I got a VMAX 150 Yamaha on the back. Good day, top speed, safe speed. I'm sure it'll do more, but it's about 45 miles an hour. I'm not going to compete with the 200s, 250s, 225s out there. It's just, come on. So I plan my fishing strategy for that day according to the speed of my boat. Maybe my spot's right, maybe your spot's right at the ramp. 4 or 5 miles from the ramp. In a secluded backwater cove or up a creek channel or something. Speed doesn't matter there. So, does boat speed matter? Yes and no. Yes, if you got that long run, you got that power on the back of your boat, and make sure you do it safely. You get to your spot right away. No, if you know your boat doesn't go over 45, 50 miles an hour, and your spot you have planned for that tournament spot or spots are within a 5 mile radius of where you're launching from, no, boat speed wouldn't matter. So that's kind of like a two-part deal. Yes and no, depending on you. I hope I cleared that up for everybody. I thought it was an important question. Thought it was a really good question. And thanks to my Monoman fan out there for sending it. I do appreciate it. So there you go. Until next time, as always, tight lines.